So much had happened from 2001 on because of 9/11. So much had changed about the international awareness of Islam, the continued discovery of both Islam as a broad global tradition that was hugely important, something that had been, of course, part of Christian history for millennia. Islam is not a militant religion, obviously. And Fuller was very clear that is not our perception of Islam. And yet the cultural tensions that exist, both politically, nationally, internationally, gave a fresh opportunity to ask questions about how are we going to be an interfaith institution.
There have been a lot of tensions that has been built because of the way people suspect each other.
Whether you're Muslim, Jewish, Christian, you're not in this world isolated from other faiths. You can't separate yourself in that way. And I don't think that's responsible. I don't think that's what God is calling us to be or do.
Even my own immediate brother is a Christian. So if he happen to come to US today, he has no other place to stay other than my house. And if I go to Nigeria too, I stay in his house. So we grew up together. So in my own house, my dad is a Muslim, his two other brothers, they are Christian, and we live in the same house.
And the reality is that we're not the same. But what does that actually mean in terms of social harmony? You know, even if we're not the same, does that mean we can't have social harmony? You know, does that mean that we can't break bread together in a fruitful way and work on service projects and work on bettering our society and our communities?
If we can be open enough and embrace our uniqueness and differences, but be willing to talk about it and to learn from each other and create the awareness in our communities and our constituencies, the US will be a better place to be for Muslim and Christians, better than what we are experiencing right now.
It's important to understand where people are coming from, right? There's an expression that we often find today. It says, meet people where they're at. And in order to be an effective leader, a religious leader, one has to be familiar not only in terms of, what are the basic tenets of other religious traditions, but really familiar with what are the concerns and what are the motivations of, fellow Americans who represent different worldviews, different outlooks, and different religious traditions.
I think it's important for our seminary students, Bayan seminary students, to interact with and engage Christian seminary students because we have high hopes for our students. We want them to be leaders for tomorrow. And to be religious, as Diana Eck from Harvard said, in the 21st century is to be interreligious. And it doesn't mean to compromise what one believes or to change one's practice, but it means to know and understand and appreciate what you have as a community with regards to your theology and faith and practice, and what other faith communities bring to the table, and then to work collectively together on making this world a better place.
We've taken several classes, interfaith and interfaith classes, even taught by Christians. And that was an incredible experience where we compared, the verses of Genesis, with the verse of the Quran, the stories of Abraham, the stories of Moses, with people outside of our faith, and initiatives like the Fuller Initiative that we're participating in. These things have been crucial.
First and foremost, we are all human beings. And I can see this in the Quran, but it's just like when you don't really meet somebody, it's as if it doesn't exist. So we've been equipped, here in Bayan that, hey, your first observation is you are dealing with a human being.
And so when it comes to seminary, I think that schools could definitely and have a responsibility to equip their students in terms of discovering what other religions might say.
The program here at Bayan has been really great. I've learned so much. I didn't even realize how much I would learn. I mean, I had some idea, but really when I got into taking the classes and and especially the people I met, the different students who are here, their backgrounds and diversity. And we talk about diversity a lot in this country. There's also so much diversity within our faith, within our religions.
One of the things I hope about seminarians is that they understand themselves to be meaning makers and storytellers. And I don't think that you can be a significant meaning maker or storyteller in the contemporary world if you're not doing so with an awareness, at the very least, if not an experience, of living in a multi-faith, multi-religious world. So to me, when seminarians are in their preparation, they need the opportunity to be able to think not just in Christian categories and in biblical categories, which clearly a school like Fuller would want to make most prominent. But we also want and need to cultivate students who have an imagination and empathy, a readiness to deeply engage, to know people who are not like us, so that we are cultivating empathizers and not just knowers. Empathizers go further than knowers. They go deeper than knowers. You can know information, for example, about religions, but you aren't not necessarily therefore an empathizer. I think if we're wanting to really be storytellers and meaning makers, then we have to be people who are prepared to stand inside other people's stories and other people's meaning. And religion is at the very core of that for the majority of the world. So certainly to see Fuller seminarians become people who understand and empathize with the religious instincts and virtues and threads of affirmation and concern, the way that they understand the character of the world, the character of God or any form of deity that might be involved. That's just really important work. And I think Fuller has come a long ways in that. And I actually also think we have a long ways to go. So I continue to be committed to that as an important part of our formation. And it's one of the things that I think makes this kind of multi-faith learning and empathy at Fuller or for any seminary so important.